Hello, everybody. Yes, it's that time yet again. It is Friday. It is 12 o'clock almost. I know there's probably a slight delay on this, so forgive me if it appears that I'm late, but I'm not. I'm actually here. And the sun is out. It might still be a little bit cold, but we are back with the Get Hired Live. It's great to see you all. As ever, from everybody, David, hi, how are you? Great to see you as well. Make sure, as we always do, make sure you introduce yourselves, say hello wherever you've been. Wherever you are in the world, whatever is happening right now. Oh, look, I can see Foxy. Oh my God, you've had a chaotic week. Hopefully, it's all good. You know, chaos is sometimes a good thing. So, David, hi, great to see you as well. Make sure also, if you haven't connected with people on here, if you're new to the sessions, make sure that you connect. Introduce yourselves. Let people know who you are. I've got no issue with you sharing your LinkedIn profile. Make sure that you do that to connect, network, say hello, and say some of the things that are happening in your world, especially if you're looking for a job right now, which is super tough out there. It's very competitive, and if you are struggling a little bit, then look, share some of the challenges that you're going through. Yes, thank you, Foxy. The mug is in pride of place. It is still up there. Next to the Get Hired mug as well. There's more and more merchandise coming out. We're going to have, maybe we're turning into merchandise wars. We're just going to turn this whole session, instead of having that, into mugs, t-shirts, and everything else. You know, that's the way to do these things. Look, this week I wanted to talk a little bit more about a subject that we are bombarded with every single day. There is always something that happens in the news. We hear about it. Is that wonderful subject of AI. And AI is something that is radically changing everything about our lives. And recruitment is no different, because AI, we see not just in terms of being a candidate from what we can do from applying, but also what we get when we're actually making those applications as well. The whole recruitment world is changing as well, and AI is really driving that. Of course, we see the headlines all the time that people are being laid off because of AI. AI is being adopted. It's taking our jobs. There's a lot of fear that happens. There's a lot of misinformation that happens across all different media channels. LinkedIn is no different, that we'll see a lot of people opining about AI, about the great things about it, about the terrible things about it. So it can be really confusing. So I thought it would be a great session to start talking a little bit more about the impact of AI. What are the good things, the bad things, and also what are the myths? What is actually happening behind the scenes when you're as a job seeker? What is happening outside of that? And I think that would be really interesting to see. Ida, hi, great to see you as well from a grey London. That's always good to see as well. Hopefully it's nice and sunny up here in the Yorkshire Dales, so I'm sending some of that down to you as well. Maybe that can help you out from that side. You're looking like you're job hunting as well for project program manager jobs. Absolutely, it is tough out there right now. It's not the easiest that we've gone from out there, and there's certainly, and hopefully this is the place where it's going to give you a few different tips and hints as to how to navigate through all of this. But look, a question for everyone that's out here now: what's your opinion on AI? Put it into the comments. Let everybody know what it is that you're seeing out there from AI. Do you think AI is rejecting your applications? Because I'd be interested to hear what you think from a candidate perspective, from people who are going out there. Do you think that when you're being rejected, or you're not being seen, or as usually happen, you don't hear anything at all, that you're just missed out, you've made the application, you don't hear anything for 3 months? Do you think AI is responsible for screening you out? I'd be fascinated. We can take a quick poll of what everybody thinks is happening out there. Do you think it's both screening your applications? Do you think it's rejecting you from that? And it's not just those hidden AI ones. Are you starting to come across AI video interviews? Are you having ones where you're talking to a bot, essentially, that is giving you questions and you're having to do a piece to camera to put that there. You're not even speaking to a human. Let us know what you think and from your experience as well, because from the UK, from the US, great to see you all. David, I can see here, yeah, you think AI is causing a flood of applications to roles. I've seen some roles with 750 plus applicants. Absolutely, David. It seems to be non-stop. And what's interesting here is there are, and this is what we need to talk about in terms of the impact of AI in the recruiting marketplace, is there are two sides to it. One side is what the candidates can use in order to generate interest for them. And then the other flip side is from the company side. What are they doing to try and deal with all of these thousands of applications that are happening as well? Foxy, I think AI is being used in two ways. One, to assist people who are already knowledgeable and skilled, and two, to replace people's thinking. The second version is where slop is coming from. The first version will change the world. I couldn't agree more. I could not agree more. And it's interesting. I think it's really important here to talk about exactly that topic of, and we'll get into that a little bit later on, how to use AI effectively. Because whether we like it or not, AI is here to stay. It is, there are tools out there that can absolutely help you and assist you. But as you say, absolutely right. If you are just using that to replace what's going on in the gray matter, and you're just allowing that to just determine everything without thinking it through, reviewing it, and personalizing, authenticating, then you are going to be in trouble. And that's part of the problem as well. David, you've had 3 AI bot interviews. Goodness me, they are horrible. I'm with you on that. It is I have seen some of these systems. So from the other side of it, from my role of global talent acquisition leads, I lead and advise my clients in terms of their strategy, their go-to-market, how to change up and lead in terms of their talent acquisition. How do they redefine what they're doing from a recruitment perspective? You can imagine I get bombarded daily with AI companies that are offering those kind of tools, and I've looked and reviewed at lots of them. I have to say that I look at it from a point of view, not just from what a company looks at, but from a candidate experience side. I'm still yet to be convinced. I think that all of us prefer to speak to another human. Now, absolutely, AI can help us in screening things and trying to give you advice and help you. But when you're just trying to remove a whole section of interview processes, I think that is going to be problematical. So I don't blame you at all for finding that tough. So let's just look at that, and especially as Foxy's mentioned, Nye's mentioned, there are two sides to it. So first and foremost, look, let's see, where is AI actually being used? So let's sort of peek behind the curtain, as it were, to see where AI is being used and what it's happening. So from a candidate perspective, there is absolutely a part where CVs are being changed, of our approach in terms of what we do to recruiting is absolutely happening, and where a lot of the sort of negativity from AI is that candidates are using it to mass apply. There are a lot of AI tools out there that get advertised an awful lot. You may well have seen them both on LinkedIn, on Instagram, Twitter, etc. There are lots out there that have that make massive promises that we'll get you hired, we'll be able to guarantee you a job, we'll be able to do that. Post your CV into our process, we'll do all the applications for you, and we'll start feeding it into it. That is a real problem that is happening, and that's what's feeding a lot of the challenges that the recruitment industry are having with thousands of applications. Hello, LinkedIn user. I've had 16 interviews from January to date, and I have had 3 interviews run by an AI agent, good grief, that recorded my answers, then asked specific questions based on what I answered. I also had 2 jobs where I applied, got screened out immediately, rejection email, and then had the recruiters reach out to me on LinkedIn for both jobs if I would be interested. Go figure. Wow. Well, look, let's unpack that a little bit. Let's take the second part of your question first. Or statement first. The fact that you applied for jobs, got screened out immediately, and then had recruiters reach out to you. Now, look, absolutely, you will probably think, AI's done that. AI has screened me out and got rid of me, and then the recruiters have now found me and done that. So there's a couple of bits to remember there. First is that how likely is it that AI has screened you out? Now, ideally, if companies have implemented AI systems to help with their screening, they should be putting a disclaimer out. So at some point in that application process, you will see there that there is they will tell you that AI has screened you out, or they will be using screening technology there. If they've not done that, that's one of two things. Either there is no AI there, they haven't implemented it, and let me be clear here, a lot of companies haven't. So a lot of places that you're going to apply to still have not adopted any additional AI screening to assist them, or they have put it in there and they're not putting disclaimers up, which is probably not best practice. Certainly outside of the EU, it's something that you could still do, but it's not the best practice. Inside the EU, as part of the new AI Act that's coming into force this year, they will need to be able to tell you that that is happening as well. So if you are based in the EU, the companies will have to tell you that they're utilizing AI in some shape or form in order to assist in the recruiting process. So that's firstly what's happened there. So and probably what is also happened is that you have had that job that you've applied for, that the recruiter themselves is there's no AI there. The recruiter themselves is having to go through it and reject. And it might well be they've had so many applications for it. They might already have people at interview. They've just mass rejected. And then, of course, subsequently, they need more candidates. And then they're going to go out to go and find them. And that feeds into what we talk about all the time here in these sessions. The way that recruiting is happening is much more proactive, because the way that AI is being used by recruiters is in the search, in going out there and headhunting people. AI technology is absolutely filtering and searching and finding people, but they're using it through things like LinkedIn Recruiter, where they are using that to accelerate their searches, to go out there and find the ideal person. And that's why it's so critical now that your method to go to market has got to be about visibility, about getting found, albeit by AI, but getting found on LinkedIn. And your activity and the way that you optimize your profile, the way that you put your skills in, the way that you demonstrate your value, that's what you've got to make sure that you're doing. Things like making sure you're open to work, making sure you're following the company that you're looking and you're interested in. That will help to filter results so that you can get found by those recruiters if that's the way that they're going to look at it. So it's really important to do that from that point of view. So look, going back to what candidates can do, 100%, if you are using AI or tempted to use AI in order to do applications, please don't. It is the most counterproductive thing that you can do. Those systems aren't good. They will just take your CV and just spray it out. Basically, all they're doing is taking the old, what they used to call the spray and pray approach of applications, where you just fire out your CV to as many people as possible and hope and pray that somebody along there is going to select you and bring you back in. It doesn't work manually. It doesn't work effectively through AI. And ironically, that's what's feeding into companies adopting AI to deal with the fact that a mass of candidates are using AI to mass apply. So it's just this never-ending feed through. It's not really particularly productive. So look, don't be tempted to do that at all. Where you can use AI is where you start to use that in a way that is going to help your job search. So it's sort of going back to, okay, what do we need to do in order to help your job search? What are the first steps to do? So look, let's go through some steps of that. And by the way, we will be producing a PDF handout that's going to really help you and do that. I will make that available. It will be in the Get Hired group that we have on our Circle group. James will stick that up into the comments. So if you're not already a member on there, please make sure you do. We're going to add more and more free material there that's just going to help you out in where that is. So look, let's go through some different steps that we're going to have on here. And I've got 6 different steps that we're going to look at what you can do proactively to use from a candidate perspective what you can use from AI to help you. The first one, and as I say, there will be a free PDF for this as well. But if you want to make notes, absolutely you can do. But the first one is mapping your market. I always talk about, if you're going to go through your job search, first of all, dump the fact of I'm just going to go and apply for as many things as possible. We've got to start being really super proactive as a candidate. We've got to start making sure that we're visible, that we're engaging with people, and people can quickly see what your value is, that you're an expert in your field, that people know who you are and what problems you solve. And before we do anything, the first thing you got to do is to see, well, who is the market that I need to go to? So you've got to map who is your target audience, who is your market for it. So the first one to do is defining your target universe, as it were. And the AI can be super useful for that. Now, look, I'm not going to promote one tool over another. Each of them are slightly different. So you've got the Chat GPTs, the Claudes of this world, etc. And they can, and you've got to decide which one is going to really help you to do that. Some are better at certain things than others, but what each of them will do is they will start to be able to work out who you are. Make sure that you feed it the right prompts. Make sure that it understands who you are. So when you're starting to map your market, you need to tell, whether it's ChatGPT, whether it's Claude, etc. You need to tell it who you are, show it your LinkedIn profile, feed into your background. You can put in your CV if you want. Give it some more information. Tell it the type of organizations you want to work for, the type of job that you're looking for, and ask it to map that. List 20 companies in my sector, scaling in a certain region, including headcount, recent funding, news that they've got. So prompt it to give you that list. And then once it starts to do that, you can then go back to LinkedIn. You can then start following those companies and do your own research. Don't just take it that that's what it is. If they're not in the right area, then you need to feed that back to your AI to tell it, I don't want this type of company. I want this company, and this is the reason why. Because there's not enough people in the business. They're not growing. Whatever it might be. And then once you've done that, go back to your AI and ask it to find the decision makers. Who are the decision makers? Who are the people in your particular business unit, in your sector? Who are the people working for these companies who I should be connected with? Then go back into LinkedIn, follow those people, start engaging with them. And that's what you need to do. So that's how you can start to map and use AI to really help accelerate that. Because a lot of people, when I talk about, look, identify your target audience, like, I don't even know where to start. How do I find that? AI is fantastic at helping you do that. It is an assistant. It is someone there who can really fundamentally help you create your target audience. And that's what you can do there. Once you've developed that, the very next thing you need to do is, look, I need to make sure that when I'm reaching out to people and I'm trying to get people to come to my profile, they can understand as soon as they go onto that profile who you are, what you're about, what value you've got, what skills you've got, and most importantly, what problems you solve. And from a recruiter's perspective, I go onto people's profiles all the time, whether they've applied, whether I'm headhunting, whether I'm trying to find them. And I look on their profile and really in depth try to understand quite quickly on the about section what it is. Who are they right for what I'm looking for the role? And if it doesn't scream to me really quickly, what is the problems that you solve? What is the skill sets that you've got? Then I'm likely to move on. So it's really important to do that. Again, AI can help you do that. So on your preferred AI tool, make sure you put it in your current profile and prompt it. Tell it what it is that you're trying to do. Advise it of the things that you've achieved. Tell it in great detail about, this is what I've achieved. These are the successes I've had. These are the wins I've had. These are the problems I've solved. And ask it to change in each of the different sections. So then subdivide it from the About Us section to the jobs that you've worked at, making sure that it really helps and it's easy to read, so that somebody in a recruiting point of view or from a hiring point of view can easily understand what it is that you do and the problem you solve and why they should be talking to you. So using AI to really help those two things is really vital to make sure that you do on that side. Having then done that, of course, what we've then got to do is that tricky subject, again, we talk about a lot, is how do we start to promote ourselves a bit? How do we market ourselves? And that's about content. It's about creating content and posting out. And that's probably the bit that everybody finds super, super difficult. They're not too sure what to do. And that's where we want to start looking at to see, okay, look, AI can help you give you ideas about what kind of content that you need to do. Now, I'm not suggesting, and absolutely what we don't want to start doing is just cutting and pasting and say, write me a post about X, Y, Z, cut and paste it, stick it up. That's not what you want to be doing. Is, as Foxy talked about, what you don't want it to do is to just replace your thinking. It's not there just to stop you from thinking. It's there to help you and to prompt you, to give you ideas. So just as much as you're prompting AI, you need to accept the prompts that it comes back, but not that it's verbatim. It is just advising you about something. So the first bit you need to do is, look, pick your pillars, what it is that you're interested in, maybe 3 particular pillars about you, about your business, your skill sets, your market, and then get it to start providing ideas. So give you some content ones, give it formats that work in that particular field, in the relevance that you have there. Bear in mind that the way that everything is working now in terms of content is that all of these social media platforms, including LinkedIn, their algorithms are all relevance prompted. So they are, in a way, that everything that they have and is about interest. So if somebody is interested in yachts and they're constantly looking at things that have to do with yachts, then LinkedIn is going to be thinking, clearly he's engaging with a lot of things about yachts, about sailing, about boats. So we're going to keep on pushing more about that subject to them because they're clearly interested in that. So when you write something about yachts, it's going to be seen by the people who are engaging already with it. So that's why it's really important to make sure that you understand your market, understand what it is that they're looking at. So use AI to say, look, analyze the companies that you've already seen, have a look at some of the content that they've done, what is working, what's not working, what are they engaging with? And then that can really help you to start creating the content that hits. And that's what's really important from that point of view. And then the step 4 in this is then the engagement strategy. How do you engage with people? Because it's great. We've now got an optimized profile. We're following all the companies we need to do. And what we need to make sure we're doing now is commenting, is engaging with people. And again, that is where AI can really help you with your LinkedIn comments. I think a lot of people sometimes they will see the fact that they've got, look, I need to comment, I can find a post here, and they worry about what it is that they need to actually put there as a comment. What's really important here is to start making sure that you're adding insight, you're adding value. Now, again, AI can help you with that. Now, I stress, don't just cut and paste. So you can ask it, write some comments. So this is a post here, write an insightful comment for that. But 100%, do not just cut and paste it, put it in. Make sure you take that and use that as a prompt for you. And then you read it, look at it, and then put it into your language, into your words. But what it's doing is it's helping you with some ideas. But it's really important that you still write it out yourself in your own words and what you need to do from that side of things. So again, look, not only can AI help you in providing your whole strategy, but not just in terms of content, but also in engagement as well. And then what we can then do is those sort of final 2 elements. Look, at some point, you're going to have to apply for a job. You're going to have to do that. And hopefully what you want to do in the ideal world is that you start having conversations with people outside of an official job process. That's when you really have a massive advantage over the people who are just using an application only strategy. And part of doing this content creation, creating your branding, making sure that you're getting seen, creating visibility is how you're driving traffic to your profile. You've got to make sure that you follow up with those people and make sure that you're front and center. It's not just a one hit and hopefully somebody will get there. You've got to constantly go through it. So it is a bit of effort. You are going to have to be working that right the way through, rather than just um, doing the content, post a piece of content, put a comment up, and sit back and wait. No, it is constant. You've got to keep on pushing that through. But once you're doing the application strategy, it's also important that you've got to apply. So get it to make sure that you're optimizing your CV. I can tell you, I see lots of types of CVs, and you're still going to have to produce them. You're still going to have to do that. People are still, even though they're going to be looking at your LinkedIn profile and understanding, and a lot of people tend to use that far more so than they do necessarily of your CV. In actual fact, I've got some data here which is really interesting. These are really interesting stats to let you think how things are changing. 70% of hiring managers will check LinkedIn first, check your LinkedIn profile first before they look at your CV. That's of hiring managers. So there's still nearly 3/4 of hiring managers will look at your LinkedIn profile. So that's why it's so important. So even if you've applied and you're going through that, they'll go to that. In fact, 80% of the jobs are filled through networks and referrals than they are through applications, just by applying to a job board. That's the real difference. And that's what's really changing and has changed dramatically over the last few years, is doing that side. So look, absolutely use your AI platform to look at your CV, optimize it, making sure that it's in a format that can be read, can be seen. And again, prompt AI to help you do that. You don't need to go out there and spend hundreds of pounds on one of these CV writing templates or whatever else there is out there. There's plenty of them still out there trying to hawk their wonderful templates, when the technology can help you do that. So use that to be able to do it. Make sure that you're prompting it to what you want to achieve. In other words, I want a CV that is easy to read, that demonstrates my skill sets, that means that somebody can see from a first glance, within less than 10 seconds, can understand and identify what problems I solve, what value I bring, etc., and why they should be wanting to see me. So look, again, use it for that as well. If you're going to use cover letters as well, you need to do that. Again, it can help you do it. Same principle. Do not cut and paste it. Make sure that you are adding your own words. You write it in your own words. I won't get into whether or not cover letters are useful or not, but there's still organizations where once you actually are applying for the role, it will still make you do it. Without a cover letter, you can't actually apply. So it's really important that you do that as well. Then when we've done that, it can then help you with your interview prep as well. So this is how powerful AI is for candidates, is that you can do that. So once you're getting in there, you can start getting research beyond the website, finding out what's in the news on that company. It's really important when you go to interviews that you are familiar with it. You understand what the company is about over and above what you've just quickly flicked through or read or had a look on their Instagram channel. Make sure that you're finding out what's happened in the last 6 months of news. Now, in the past, that would have taken you hours upon days of research to do that. AI will be able to do all that research for you in a matter of minutes. It will absolutely be able to put it. So, again, prompt it with saying, list the last 6 months of news that has happened for XYZ company. Identify 3 challenges that a new hire could address in this particular organization and this particular business. So again, it's starting to be able to prompt you with really relevant advice, so that when you're going to interview, you're constantly having that conversation with them where it actually helps you to be able to show your value and what you can be doing. They want to be seeing that it's like you're working for the company already. Foxy, yeah, AI is crazy good for interview prep. You can even get it to give you mock interviews, 100%. And I think it is so good to do that. It can help you predict the questions. It can prepare your questions. You can practice out loud with it. Excuse me. In fact, what I use on chat, I don't know about you, but whichever ones you use, I use ChatGPT and Claude, depending on what it is that I'm looking to achieve. So I actually use both of those quite a fair bit for a lot of different research and what I'm looking to do. What I particularly like about ChatGPT, and I use a lot of it, is that I talk to it. So I will literally talk back to it, and I use the voice command all the time on it. So you can actually have that situation where you can say, set up a mock interview, get to do it, have the talk to it. You can actually get them to question it, and then you can answer the question. So you're actually physically answering the question. And then at the end of that, ask it to rate you. Ask it to give you a review on your interview performance. I would add on top of that that what you can do is video yourself. I know no one really likes that kind of thing, but it's super useful to do. Video yourself, have a look to see how you're performing, how it looks like. You can look, depending on the type of interview you have, it's either going to be video, so it's going to be virtual, or it will be face to face. Either way, that's really helpful to give you on the spot sort of feedback and advice on what to do as well. So look, as Foxy said, 100% use it for that kind of thing. It is really, really good on that side of things. Now, more controversially, what it can also help you with is the negotiation strategy as well. So strategizing in terms of how's the best way to position yourself to get the best deal, to obviously maximize in terms of your compensation, your benefits, what you need to do. Now, be warned again, the way that any of these AI platforms will do is sometimes they will push you to times where you'll be feeling quite uncomfortable. So make sure you feed into it to let it know what your style is, how you like to negotiate, how you don't like to negotiate. Tell it if you find that difficult, and it will adapt and give you advice in a way that will help you from that point of view. So look, use it in all of those different forms, and I think it will be absolutely vital in terms of moving forward. It is a real game changer for you as a candidate. And what I think is, and what I wanted to do today was really show you the fact that AI out there isn't just about how do I produce my CV and then send it out to as many applications as possible. That's not a productive way to use AI in 2026. It's a poor way of using it. And unfortunately, a lot of people are using it like that. And what it's actually doing is being really counterproductive. And that's what's forcing us down this way of saying we need to make sure that we are being seen and we're creating visibility. And that's where AI can really super help you throughout that process. So hopefully that will give you some really good tips on what to do in that. I'd be fascinated to find out. Let me know. Are those ways that you're currently using, or is that completely new for you as well? So Foxy, yeah, tell it to be brutally honest though. If you don't, it will lean towards flattery. Unfortunately, it does all the time with it. It's designed, as you say quite rightly, it is designed to be supportive. It's designed to flatter you. It's designed to do that. So you constantly push it, constantly challenge it. I spend my life correcting AI all the time in whatever it gives me. If it's not quite right that I like, I will push it back and say, that's not the right thing. I want to have that tone. This is what I want to do with it. You've not understood what I want to do. Correct this. It is not perfect. It is still developing. But I can tell you, having been using it for 12 months plus, what it was like 12 months ago, what it is now, it's light and day. It's gone, it's absolutely changed so much in that short space of time, and it will continue to improve and get better. But Foxy's absolutely right. You have to be in charge of it. You have to really be brutal with AI to make sure that it's giving you the right information. Don't let it over influence it, and absolutely go back to what Foxy said at the beginning. Don't let it just replace your thinking. You're still in charge of it. Use it. It's there to complement that, and it's used to try and help you just do all the tasks that you wanted to do, but just accelerate it. So it's moving everything super quickly from that point of view. So look, hopefully that's going to help you from a point of view of what to do from a candidate side of things, and what you need to do with that. So just to summarize, look, make sure that you're using all of this to really build for your discovery, create your visibility, make sure that you are targeted in what you want to do, and use AI to your advantage. What you don't want to be doing is using it to mass apply. So don't mass apply with it. Don't copy and paste your generic content, it is the worst thing to do. I'm sure you probably have all seen on LinkedIn. There's lots of posts that go out there. Some of them, and the real interesting bit is the feedback and the comments that lots of people say, "Oh, this is AI generated," or that's an AI post, or this, that, the other. Sometimes it's pretty obvious that they are. There's certain phrases, there's certain ways that it's put together, there's certain grammatical things that it has. You can see it, and I can see it also in the comments on some of my posts and my content. I can see quite obviously the ones that are clearly someone's just cut and paste an AI one. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't mind people creating posts with AI or commenting on with AI, creating CVs with AI. If anything, from a recruitment point of view, I expect people to be using AI. In fact, I would probably look and question in the way that the current world is going, that if you are not using AI, that's probably going to be a bit of a red flag moving forward, because every organization on the planet is implementing it and they're moving at pace. They're going to need people who are going to do that. But what makes a difference is the fact that not whether you're using AI, it's how you're using AI. If you're using it effectively and you're putting it in your own words and you're generating really good, interesting content, interesting CVs, new dynamic ways of doing that, presenting it in a great way, but you've utilized AI, don't be ashamed of that. Absolutely tell people, yeah, I do. I do use AI, and this is how I use it, and this is how I prompt with it. And if you're not sure how to do that, get trained on it. There's plenty of training out there for it. In fact, maybe Foxy's Lab should even do a piece on how to utilize AI. Maybe there should be some more content there for you to do it. But look, absolutely, don't be afraid of it whatsoever. It can really, really help you from that side. AI isn't the enemy. It really isn't. And I know that we've all seen that fear factor that we have, especially where it's coming to, is it taking your jobs? That we're going to all lose out. What it's going to take, and the people it's going to take, AI is going to affect the people who do not adapt and change and want to use AI. That's where the people who are going to probably be affected the most. So it's really, really important that you understand which one to use, and don't just put all your eggs in one basket. Use different types. There's lots out there. Trial them out. Most of them have a free version that you can see and you can identify, and you can see whether or not it's useful for you, and work out which one works. Because I found that Claude is good for certain things, certainly with documentation, with creating different things on that. Again, it's not perfect, but it absolutely is pretty good for that. ChatGPT is pretty useless. Claude won't do nice, pretty pictures and create stuff like that, whereas ChatGPT can. But there's certain things that you can adapt and you can get it to use. So look, use it for your advantage and see what you want to do on that side as well. Right, we're coming, as ever, we're coming through to the end of the session. So look, I'm more than happy to answer any questions that people have got here. Please put them into the chat. If you've got anything that you'd like to specifically raise, or issues you're not too sure about, we can do that. It might be really useful. I'd be also, if you want to do a profile audit as well. We're going to be doing a number of different sessions, and next week I'd be quite keen to see if we can do some live profile audits as well. So if you are keen to see how do I change up and what I need to do on my profile, and you're willing and brave enough and courageous enough to come on and share your screen, and I'll be super kind with it. We can go through your LinkedIn profile together. We can show everyone there. We can start looking at your content. We can start to see, so we can demonstrate live to everybody, look, these are the kind of things that will work. This is what isn't working. This is what you can adapt. This is what you can tweak. So that might be quite useful for you. So please put in the comments if you're happy to do it and you'd like to be the guinea pig. Absolutely put that in there, that we can do that as well. That might be pretty useful for anyone, especially as the fact that one of the key things that I think that everybody has here is getting that visibility and putting yourself out there. And it can be really, really scary. I do get that. We often talk about that fear factor, the imposter syndrome that you have in creating content, creating posts, putting yourself out there. It absolutely is. The most important thing to do is to actually start doing it. And the best time to do it, if you haven't started, was yesterday. The next best time is right now. So if you haven't started to do that, maybe what you could do is actually create your first post. If you haven't been creating posts, create about this. take a screenshot, do something like that, talk about the fact that I've just been on here, I've been challenged to go out and create a post about it. Start to talk about things so you can start to put that out there, comment on it, comment on what's been happening in your market. So that's where you can start to create it. And if you really want to also have a situation whereby you want to, you're really fearful of putting your first post out there, start commenting. Commenting is a great way to ease into getting used to writing something and putting yourself out there. And it doesn't really feel quite so fearful. I think it's a marvelous way to do it. I can see already we have a number of people who have come on board here to say they'd like to be guinea pigs. So thank you very much. Fergal, thank you very much. Really good. Yeah, we'll reach out. Debbie, Ida as well. Absolutely, David, you did one as well. It was fantastic for you to come on here. I really appreciate your time as well. It was a really useful session. So look, we're coming very near to the end now. So thank you very much, everybody. Once again, it has been super useful. AI is a really complex subject. It can be really fearful. You know, I'm not the most technically minded of people, but I'm quite keen to sort of jump in and try and understand it. And AI is something that I've absolutely wanted to understand how to use, and have really dived in as much as I can do. I can tell you now, it is revolutionizing what I do, and it is speeding up everything that I have. It takes a lot of time to get used to. There are some AI tools, especially in the recruitment world with it, where it's quite complex and you need constant training to truly understand it. But what I know is that when you get to master it, it helps you no end. And it's the same in your application process in finding a new job. If you use AI to really partner you and get yourself visible, you'll get those conversations and you will start having interviews and you'll start getting hired. Thank you once again for your time. It's great to see you all. Enjoy the weekend. I hope it's really fantastic. And I hope wherever you are, no matter whether it's a cloudy London or anywhere else, that the sun shines well, and it's we're slowly coming into our summers. So enjoy that. Thank you very much. I see you next time, next week. I will reach out to some of the guinea pigs and we'll start doing some live profile reviews next week as well. So don't miss that as well. Look forward to seeing you then. See you next week.